Welcome back to Race Report, everybody. Another twist and turn in the tale for you today, with Mercedes' request for review of Max Verstappen's driving in the Sao Paulo Grand Prix has been rejected by the FIA. Now, for anybody who's just catching up on the news with what's been going on, last weekend at the Brazilian Grand Prix, there was an incident between Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, where Lewis Hamilton was trying to overtake Max on the outside, and it appeared that Verstappen forced Hamilton off the track whilst going off the track himself at the same time. However, at the time, the stewards noted it but did not investigate it during the race. Now, Hamilton went on to win that race, of course, but I think we all knew that we hadn't seen the last of that decision. After the race, during this week, we saw a video from Max Verstappen's car that was not available at the time to the stewards. It was his forward-facing camera where you can clearly see him turning the steering wheel, and this was believed to be crucial evidence to see if there should be a penalty applied. So Mercedes used their right to appeal and they said, hey look, crucial new evidence has come up, let's look into this, let's review this evidence. Now that was a couple of days now, so this has sat with the FIA for a little while, and today it has come out that the FIA will not be investigating the incident. They have rejected the right to review that Mercedes have put in. And the FIA have said that the footage, the onboard camera footage from Verstappen's car, does meet the requirement of being new and unavailable at the time of the decision. But they also said it was not significant, which is why they've rejected the request. They said it is not significant. A direct quote from them is that there is nothing in the footage that fundamentally changes the facts, nor even does this show anything that wasn't considered by the stewards at the time. Obviously, this is a big blow for Mercedes. Obviously, their overall intent here was to try and get Verstappen a penalty, whether it be a 5-second penalty, 10-second penalty for Brazil, or going forward into the race in Qatar, getting him a grid place penalty there as well. But on the flip side of that, you have Red Bull coming out and saying this is a good decision. Obviously, the rules were upheld in their eyes. So that's it. That's the end of that specific incident. It is done. It is dusted. We are moving on. However, there is the question of how this affects racing going forward. It's been brought up by several drivers and several teams over the past week, because obviously it's quite a controversial thing right now, that this incident and the way it's been handled now sets precedent for the incidents like this moving forward. So Charles Leclerc came out on Thursday saying if this is allowed, then overtaking on the outside is going to be very difficult. And he also said earlier in the week that if it is allowed, he's going to have to change his driving style. And that sentiment was echoed up and down the paddock of this is a bit of a change from the driving standards we've had so far, and driving standards are going to have to change moving forwards to accommodate this new decision. So ultimately, I think we need to expect that much more of this is going to be happening in F1, simply because people can get away with it now. I think the majority of people, including myself and everybody that left a comment on my last video, do think this was a penalty. So presumably we don't want to see it happening again in the future. However, by not reviewing the incident, F1 have kind of forced us into having to see more of these incidents because now drivers can get away with it. Ultimately, I'm a bit surprised that the FIA did not review the incident, simply because by reviewing it, it would give them access to all the telemetry data from both sets of cars, and it would also give us as fans confidence in whatever decision the FIA made, because they could come out definitively and say, hey, Verstappen braked at the correct time. He turned the steering wheel as much as he could. It would, instill that faith in that the decision was a correct one, rather than at the moment we've just kind of got to trust that they're right and nothing's going on untoward. I think the situation could have been handled a little bit better, and I hope this doesn't affect the sport in a negative way going forward, and I hope it doesn't affect the championship in a negative way. After all, it is one of the most competitive championships we've had in a long, long time. I don't want it to get bogged down with these silly little controversies like this. Only time will tell. We're going into the Qatar Grand Prix right now, so we'll see what happens this weekend. What do you guys think about the decision? Are you happy with it? Are you sad about it? Are you angry about it? Let me know in the comments and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching that video. I really do appreciate the support. If you want to see more from me, I'm going to put a couple of extra videos on the left-hand side of the screen here for you. Just go ahead and click on one of those. On the right-hand side of the screen, I'm going to put a subscribe button. If you want to support me and support the channel, I very much appreciate it. Thank you.